I'm really honored to join you for this Congress as we prepare to discuss these really crucial issues. And I look forward to the absolutely stellar lineup of speakers. It's a great program, and I think that you're going to find this a wonderful three-day program. And I'm particularly glad to see that you all are here and that news of the eclipse did not scare anyone away. Because as people who have a deep interest in the role of religion in people's lives, we're all aware that in ancient times, solar eclipses evoked religious concern, comment, and even fear. Sometimes they were considered to be omens or signs of impending doom or divine punishment. According to the Greek historian Herodotus and others, however, the Greek philosopher Thales of Miletus predicted an eclipse, now thought to be the solar eclipse of May 28, 585 BC. And if indeed Thales predicted that eclipse, it's the first known case of such a prediction and a notable step forward in the understanding of the natural world. That eclipse had other significance, according to Herodotus. It interrupted a battle that was taking place in a long war between the Medes and the Lydians. When the eclipse was seen, the fighting stopped. Remember that general belief that an eclipse was a divine warning? And the two sides reportedly agreed to a truce and went home, at least for a while. Wouldn't it be nice if it was that easy to promote peaceful coexistence now? Don't we wish that yesterday's eclipse would serve as a warning to world leaders everywhere that it's time to reduce combativeness and greed and to promote freedom, civility, and friendship? And not just political leaders, but rebel leaders, religious leaders, social leaders and reformers, business leaders, and so on. Friends, and I really mean friends, we have a significant challenge before us. We have come here together, dedicated to the dignity of human beings and committed to working towards complementary goals of religious freedom and the hope for peaceful coexistence. And in reality, those are not two goals. It's one well-articulated goal. We cannot really have one without the other. Without freedom of religion, there will not be peaceful coexistence. And without peaceful coexistence, it's not really possible for freedom of religion to thrive. I don't know, no one knows, how many religions there are in the world. One estimate that I've read suggested that there might be 4,200 religions and belief systems worldwide. What we do know is that those religions and belief systems have widely differing views about God, about the origin of the world, about what happens to us when we die, and so on. As long as this world lasts, some people will come to one set of conclusions about the relationship between God and humanity, while others will have other religious convictions. Whether one believes in God or not, human dignity and freedom require that people have the inherent moral right to choose their religion. They also need to have the legal and social right to do so. That right was recognized in Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which states everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This includes freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom either alone or in community with others, and in public or private, to manifest his religion or belief in teaching, practice, worship, and observance. And that was passed by the United Nations. Sadly, over the course of millennia, most people have not enjoyed that right. Too many of us humans have been arrogant enough to think that only our religion has the truth. And we have acted at times as if we have the whole truth. And way too often, such an attitude leads to efforts to force others to believe the same way. The end result, of course, has been conflict as people refuse to accept the dicta of others. I don't need to waste time listing the far too numerous religious wars and conflicts. And tragically, religiously related persecutions and killings continue to this day. This has happened in my lifetime on every populated continent, and sadly it continues to happen in far too many places, even to the point of an apparent effort to wipe out whole villages, cities, and people groups that follow different religions. So as I said earlier, we face a major challenge as we work for religious freedom and peaceful coexistence. There is reason for optimism, however. Real progress has been made in this field, these fields. I wrote separately about how at times it seems like we've made 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. That can be discouraging at times, but it still means there has been net progress. I've been both blessed and lucky to have had the chance to see a whole lot of the world. And having lived and worked in 8 countries on 4 continents, as well as spending shorter periods in many more, and I have seen how every culture that I've encountered and every person all have their own unique characteristics. I am convinced that there are many more similarities that unite people around the world than differences that divide us, unless we let them divide us. Whether we are speaking of Christians or Muslims, Jews or Buddhists or Hindus or Baha'is or others, or among Christians, the Baptists or Catholics or our Orthodox or Lutherans or Adventists, or among Muslims, the Sunnis or Shiites or Ismailis or Ahmadis or Sufis, or any of the streams of thought among Judaism, Hinduism, and Buddhism, it is clear that most people of all these groups still desire the same fundamental things for their lives, their families, and their people. All of the major faiths have clear commands about how to treat others. Judaism and Christianity both accept the command to love your neighbor as yourself, found first in Leviticus 19:18, and then 9 more times in the Christian Bible. In Islam, the Sunnah includes the statement to love for your brother what you love for yourself. The Baha'is say, and if your eyes be turned towards justice, choose for your neighbor that which you choose for yourself. A Hindu sadhu friend of mine told me that in the Maha Upanishad, we read that the world is a family. One is a relative, the other a stranger, says the small-minded. The entire world is a family, lives the magnanimous. Buddhism teaches, hurt not others with that which pains yourself, and Zoroastrianism and Confucianism say the same. And even in Stoicism, practicing kindness toward others is part of what can be translated as disciplined self-improvement. When I was in Suriname, in northern South America, I was impressed with how members of the various religions there got along very well in one of the most religiously diverse societies I've ever seen. And I was delighted to see that we have several members of a delegation here from Suriname. And I remember one Friday evening when I was in a mosque in Suriname listening to a lecture on Islam. Afterwards, as I spoke with a local imam about his view of Islam and how he was concerned about how it was being misunderstood, both by non-Muslims and also by an excitable minority of youth within the community who have used religious extremism at times as an excuse to violence, I thought about how this man also is my neighbor within that text's meaning. We face serious obstacles in helping to advance the cause of religious freedom and promoting the hope of peaceful coexistence, but such challenges, such obstacles can make us stronger. There are animosities enough and suspicions enough. We can do better, and we can work together to help others see that respect for human dignity and religious freedom will help promote peaceful coexistence, and that is a goal to be cherished. As we spend these coming days together, I look forward to learning more from all of you about how best we can tackle the obstacles we face and build on these obstacles to strengthen ourselves and the cause of freedom. I'm not under any illusion that we're going to solve this even in the longer term. We're humans, we're not perfect, we're not going to solve it and make this a perfect paradise on earth. But whatever your religion, or even if you have no religion, if you seek to actively work on behalf of others, you will contribute to both freedom of religion and a hope for peaceful coexistence. Thank you.